everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us for today's session about management programs at U of T Scarborough. My name is Shelby Verboven, and I'm the Director of Admissions and Student Recruitment here at U of T Scarborough, and I'm your host for today. I'm joined by many colleagues that you're going to get to meet throughout the course of the next hour, and I'm really excited for you to hear from them. Just a couple housekeeping notes before we begin. During this session, you should be able to see presentation slides. You should be able to see me, as well as my colleagues when they come on, and you should see a chat. If you're not seeing all three of those things, you're going to want to adjust the show all, hide all element on your screen. The other thing you can do is there are three little white lines at the top of your screen on the left side. If you toggle that, that might also help your view as well. So check those out so that you have the full experience through today's presentation. If you need closed captioning, you can click on the Experiencing Issues link that's just under the presentation screen that you're viewing. This will allow you to access the Zoom caption feature. So definitely make use of that if you need to. The chat is a really great place for you to ask questions. My colleagues Erin, Kendall, and Manjot are in there, and they're going to be sharing all kinds of information with you throughout this presentation, some links for you to check out. Definitely pay attention to the presentation. Your questions might be answered there, but if they're not, feel free to ask those questions in the chat. During the next hour, you're going to hear about admissions, our academic programs. We're going to tell you a little bit about what life is like outside of the classroom at U of T Scarborough. The best part of the session tonight is you're going to hear from some of our current students, and then we're going to let you know what your next steps are to come to U of T Scarborough and join our management programs. So let's get started. We're going to start with some information about admissions. And when you're applying to U of T Scarborough and to our management programs, you're going to choose to apply to one of the 5 different areas that are on your screen. You can choose one of those areas to apply to on your application. The great part is if we can't consider you for that program, but if there's another program that you are eligible for, we will automatically consider you for that program. So for example, if you apply to co-op management and you don't quite meet the requirements for that, we may be able to consider you for the management program. This gives you a lot of opportunity to join U of T Scarborough. Now, how do you get admitted to our programs? We're going to be looking for a wide range of things within your application. First of all, if you're a student who's currently in Ontario, we're going to want to see your Ontario Secondary School Diploma. If you're not currently studying high school in Ontario, no problem. We'll look for the equivalent high school credential from you. We want to see that you have 6 grade 12 URM courses, and those courses need to include grade 12 English, advanced functions, and calculus. Again, if you're not in Ontario, we're going to look for the equivalent of those senior level English and calculus courses. You'll need to meet our English facility requirements, and you can find all those requirements on the website. And you'll also need to fill out a supplementary application form, or sometimes we call it the SAF. The SAF is done online, and it asks for information about things that you have been involved in. It's going to ask for extracurriculars or work experience, volunteer experience, and just in general, ways that you have exhibited leadership. Now, we know this has been a bit of an unusual year and that some of your opportunities may have been limited. And so we'll ask you to dig deeper into your experiences and tell us about them. We want to hear about all those great things that you have done outside of the classroom. If you're a student who is applying to co-op management and international business, the next stage after your supplementary application, if it's successful, you might also be invited for an interview. And that rounds out the process for applying to management. Now, we're always looking for excellent students within our management programs, so they can be competitive. Generally, we are looking for an average of a minimum mid-80s for consideration. But the supplementary application is also a really big part of that application process. So spend time on it, do the things that you need to make sure that that application is complete. Now that you have information about admissions and how you apply, let's get you lots of information about what makes our management programs so fantastic and a great opportunity for you. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Professor April Franco, who is the chair of the Department of Management. Professor Franco?
Thank you. Welcome. Congratulations to all of you for the hard work that brought you here today. And by that, I mean congratulations to both the students and your parents, because it's hard work on both sides. It's really an exciting time for all of you, and we are so pleased to be part of your journey. We are here to help you make an informed decision, because we know that many of you will have several offers to consider before deciding where to go. And so we will help you in thinking about that. One of the things I will say is, of course, I'm biased, and I believe that ours is the best business program in the top university in Canada. So let me talk a little bit about that. There are 3 reasons why our program is in high demand among students. These are reasons you should consider carefully when making your decision. The first is about the quality of the university. You've worked very hard to have the best your undergraduate degree. You want to increase your not as what was ago. The second reason is you want to think Hi there. Hopefully I didn't get too lost there. Just realized that this stopped. So I talked about the quality of the university. Let's talk about the second part, ability to explore your career options. Most of you are 17 years old and making probably one of the biggest decisions you will make in your life. You might not be sure what each of the areas, and if it's something that you want to do 5, 10, or even 30 years from now to one career option, but instead will open up many. Prospects upon graduation. Whether it's graduate school, becoming an entrepreneur, or the best full-time job offer, you want to select a school that will provide you with the most options. So let's look at each. I know that you've heard about the University of Toronto and its rankings before, but this is really important. The Times Higher Education ranked University of Toronto as number 18 worldwide, and it's considered Canada's top university and one of the top 10 publicly funded institutions in the world. Why is that important? It means that you will be taught by the best faculty at the top ranked university. Having a degree from a university that is known as one of the best in the world matters for future prospects. Your degree carries weight and value, not just in Toronto or even just in Canada, but around the world. If you saw the University of Toronto Business Programs presentation this morning, you'll know that with of the University of Toronto's 3 undergraduate business program faculty that teach in each of business. University of Toronto is also
Hi, everyone. I'm just going to step in since Professor Franco's connection seems a bit off right now. And I know she's going to be really disappointed because she wants to be able to chat with you directly. But we want to talk about the fact that U of T has actually been ranked the most innovative university in Canada, and we really take that seriously. That's actually what's guided a lot of the programs that we've created. And I want to be able to show you some of those programs that we've created just recently, and Shelby did mention some of them off of the top. The first is our Quantitative Finance and Statistics degree. This is a double degree, and it came from the fact that investment banking is changing, and it's so much more about computer science and programming, and we wanted to be able to give our students cutting edge in banking, in finance, and so this degree allows our students to be able to get 2 degrees in 5 years, a BBA and a BSc, along with a full year of work experience. So not only were we the first to introduce this at U of T, we've also were the first to introduce the BBA, modeled after the well-known MBA. We're the first to launch co-op, as well as the MIB program that you'll hear a bit more about later. One other program that you may have heard about is the Masters of Accounting and Finance. This is the first of its kind in North America, and it answers the question, how do you decide between accounting and finance? Well, we know that when you have a solid foundation in both, you can move on to C-suite level opportunities within industry. You're looking at numbers historically and numbers for the future for a really comprehensive look at banking, finance, accounting. What's really exceptional this year is we actually have a combined degree program for students like you. What that means is you can actually come into the program and do your BBA, and in second year you can apply to the Masters of Accounting and Finance. And that means that in your third year, you'll start to begin your master's program, and in 5.5 years, you'll have both your BBA and your MacFin.
So, hi, Christine, I'm back.
Okay,
awesome.
awesome.
For a little while.
Okay, we'll let you take over then.
Let's see. So, you know, as Christine mentioned, this is a really great opportunity to not have to decide between accounting and finance. And let's talk a little bit about how the combined program works. You're eligible for the combined degree program at the end of your second year if you have at least a B+ average. Once you've been accepted, your timetable is mapped out and you start on your master's program in the third year. If this isn't where you want to go with accounting, the University of Toronto still has the most amount of postgraduate accounting options. See the Masters of Management and Professional Accounting at the University of Toronto, Mississauga, or the graduate degree in professional accounting at Rotman. Now let's talk about the second reason, being able to explore career options. Because our students have a fundamental understanding of all areas of business before choosing a specialization, your choice is going to be very well informed. It's like being able to take out each area of business for a test drive before you decide where you want to focus. That really is one of the key elements that makes our program, the Bachelor of Business Administration, so strong. There's another part to it too. Our program also allows you to explore your career options in real-world environments. To do this, we have made a bold commitment. Again, we are the first at the University of Toronto to do this, that allows each of our students to complete a work integrated learning experience prior to graduation. We call that WIL. So what is WIL? WIL is an opportunity for our students to solve real and current challenges that face industry or our community. Co-op is a form of WIL, and about 60% of our students are in our co-op program. But WIL can be embedded in the classroom experience. Let me give you 3 examples. We have our students who are working on a challenge from a major German car manufacturer. I'll let you think about who that is, who is leveraging faculty and student expertise to answer the question, what is the future of the luxury car in the autonomous driving world? We also have students who are working through challenges that communities in Africa face. These can be healthcare challenges or even just entrepreneurship challenges. And the third one is using data analytics. Our students are looking at traffic patterns to make recommendations to Toronto Police on how to minimize serious injuries or even death through traffic accidents. And so how do we do all that? What our department has done is invested in the bridge, which all of our BBA students can access. This is Toronto's premier venue for experiential business education and connects the community, industry, and the classroom. It's also a space for new venture creation and entrepreneurship. And just to be clear, entrepreneurship is an integral part of our department and program. As a BBA student, entrepreneurship is a very real and well-supported option. Now let's talk about the third consideration, more career choices upon graduation. This is an alumni of ours, Steve Lau, who is a co-founder and co-CEO of Autoleap. Let me tell you a little bit about his career. Earlier in his career, Steve completed $11 billion in private equity transactions at the Canada Pension Plan Investment Board. Steve then became the co-CEO of FieldEdge, a service management software provider for the home contractor market. He eventually sold the company for more than 5 times the acquisition price. In 2018, he was named Ernst & Young's Entrepreneur of the Year. In 2019, he was recognized among Canada's top 40 under 40. As a student at the University of Toronto Scarborough's management department, you'll get to see him as an instructor alongside 2 other prominent alumni, leveraging their industry expertise while leading our mergers and acquisition course. Steve is just one example of more than 12,000 alumni we celebrate in almost 200 countries. As a BBA student, entrepreneurship is a real option, and you get linked into this incredible alumni network. For those of you who think that you would like to pursue graduate school, and maybe you don't even know if that's a thought or an option, but let me tell you, graduate school is an option for all of our students. And graduate programs are oftentimes based on publications and citations in peer-reviewed journals. The University of Toronto is number 3 in the world for citations and number 2 for publications. we have the most comprehensive list of graduate opportunities compared to any other school. So what does that get you? Because of the University of Toronto's research, their focus on research, students have the opportunity to be part of a research team and learn important skills that prepare them for graduate work. Participation in co-op can also help students by providing them with research opportunities. And so this really helps our students to stand out above the crowd when applying for graduate school, and they can be successful. As I mentioned before, University of Toronto graduates are consistently among the world's most desired employees. I believe that it's this combination of excellent, relevant teaching alongside real-world experience that sets our students apart. Keep in mind that 75% of our co-op students have a full-time job offer before they graduate. So that's all about our academic programming. And now I'm going to turn it back to Christine Arsenault, our managing director, who so quickly and easily took over when I was having connectivity problems. She's going to talk about activities outside the classroom and our co-op programming.
Wonderful. Thank you, April. Hopefully I won't have to throw it back to you, but we'll see if you're on your toes for impromptu as well. So our focus on holistic professional development sets us apart. We believe that the development of the whole student should be addressed, and it's not just marks that will ensure your later success. It's maturity, experience, plus personal and professional skill development. That's why we've set up comprehensive co-curricular programming. So what are you going to do outside the classroom? Well, first of all, I want to say that we have as many supports as you need for academic success. We have a first-year learning community where you're paired up with other students and you're given special sessions that help you adjust to university life. You have your own first-year program advisor who also assists with adjustment. We have peer tutoring programs with senior students, facilitated study groups, research seminars highlighting the current work of our world-class faculty. There's a lot to support your academics. We want every student to be successful. On top of that, we want to make sure that you have the top technical skills. So we run regular sessions on Excel, Power BI, Bloomberg, financial modeling. We expose you to as many different software applications as possible. And in our finance lab, you can find really awesome software such as Stata, Decision Pro, Capital IQ. Everything you need is available, and there are many sessions to help you get strong in those areas. We also believe that you should have adequate access to using your networking skills. We have a lot of competition and conference support. We have various opportunities that you can go to in the GTA and beyond. We've even sent students to all places around North America. And of course, we provide conference and competition preparation that is often led by our faculty to make the most of your event experience. In addition, we have a number of volunteer and work study opportunities. I actually did some calculations today to give you a sense of the work opportunities that we have available. So in 2020, we had over 600 co-op work terms, and those are at about $20 an hour. You'll see some stats on that a bit later. We had 380 TA positions that are at $42 an hour. 323 invigilator positions at $27 an hour, 63 work study roles and RA positions. And so that equals over 1,300 jobs annually for a population of 1,800. And that's just our department. That doesn't include the rest of the campus in St. George. So there's lots of ways for you to get the experience to lead. And I also want to emphasize that on top of this, U of T gives out the largest volume of scholarships in Canada, where no student offered admission to the University of Toronto should be unable to enter or complete the program due to lack of financial means. So we have a strong commitment to help you to afford your education. So a lot of these things that we actually offer alongside our student clubs. And here's a few of our fabulous student clubs in many different areas of business. You can join any one of these. They're all under one umbrella, which is our Management and Economic Students Association. They work collaboratively to run events that are of the most benefit to you. And if you have interests beyond these, you can join one of the other 170 recognized clubs on campus, or you can also start your own. So lots of things to do outside of the classroom. I also want to talk to you a bit about co-op and how we run co-op at Scarborough. It's quite celebrated. It's our flagship programming. And it's not your typical high school co-op. I did high school co-op. It involved a couple afternoons a week where I went and volunteered my time at a hospital. I thought I wanted to be a doctor. And I learned a lot of cool things like how to fold bed sheets and how to push people around in wheelchairs. But what I didn't learn was exactly how to be a doctor. And what I want to be able to share with you is that our program in co-op has some very strict requirements. We are accredited. So what that means is that your work terms are paid, they're within a professional environment, they're full-time, and you are going to have responsibilities that are aligned with your curriculum and your interests. We also make sure that we have supervisors who provide you with regular feedback, and you have the co-op staff to support you in that. Another really unique identifier for us is that we do it all in 4 years. And mathematically, that might not seem like it makes sense. How do you do a 4-year degree plus 1 year of experience all within 4 years? So I'm going to show you here. This is a typical, but not the only, work/study sequence. We do ask that every co-op student who comes into the program spends 1 year in study. We want to make sure that you have a fundamental foundation in all areas of business in order to take something into the workplace. And when you start, you can start as soon as the first term of your second year. And that's a real distinguishing factor. I know that Shelby had outlined all the different areas you can apply to. I want to let you know that something else that makes it distinct is when you get an offer from us into the BBA or into co-op BBA, that is a direct offer. There's no second year hurdle. There's no second time that you have to apply to the program. We know that you've earned it, and we want to just welcome you into the program and get started working with you. So you can start, as I mentioned, as soon as your fall term in your second year, and basically you alternate back and forth until you've completed 3 work terms and 8 study terms. You'll see here that we have a full lineup for you for the summer. The reason we do this is I know when I was a student, I would take my summers off and I would go work at Burger King, or I would do, I actually did housekeeping at the campus. And those were great things. They paid well, but they weren't directly related to my studies. And so we've said to students, can you give us back your summer? And we will either find you a job that, well, you'll earn a job that is related to your studies, or you will be studying. And so that allows you to graduate in 4 years with both work and study. The other thing that I think is really important to note is that we offer a lot of flexibility here. You can do an 8-month work term if you'd rather stay somewhere longer. You can do a 1-year work term if you would like as well. This allows you as much flexibility as possible, because you may find that you do a work term in marketing and love it, and you would then want to do the same kind of experience perhaps in a multinational firm or a startup. But if you don't love it, you can also come back to campus, repackage yourself, and we can pursue other opportunities like finance or accounting. So this gets you out early, allows you to leverage all that time to explore and to make sure you're taking the courses that really lead to what you want to work in. So another big thing, as I mentioned, is co-op is paid. So here's our current compensation salary averages. Just to give you a sense, it's pretty reasonable to expect about $3,000 a month from your work term. And so that works out to about $36,000 over the life of your degree. Again, a nice boost to be able to afford your education. So I want to spend a moment, I mentioned earlier that I was going to talk about this, but I do want to talk about our Management International Business Program. This is a co-op mandatory program, so we don't have a non-co-op version. And I just want to give you a sense of how we do it. First of all, it's flagship because it's the only one in Canada that requires both a study and work term abroad. This degree came about from us a number of years ago, gathering together alumni, faculty, industry experts, students, and we asked, what's the next best thing in business? And it was clear from that focus group that took place over the year that international business, where business is borderless, really was where we could best help prepare our students for the future of business. So in this, we've been able to leverage U of T's global reputation for excellence and our alumni of over 600,000 in 110 countries in order to support exchange. We also have relationships with 150 university partners in 50 different countries. So we're well-resourced and well-positioned to be able to support any international goals. So how do we do this in 4 years? Here's a similar outline of a work-study sequence. And what you'll see is we encourage students to get 2 work terms domestically first. And that allows us to be close when you're first learning how to onboard with a company. And it gains some really great Canadian experience that will help you to earn your international experience. And this is something I'm sure you're asking, okay, well, in the middle of a pandemic, how can this happen? You're not going to be heading out globally until your 3rd year. So fingers crossed, things will look a lot different then. And that will allow you to study abroad. And you have the option, we'll plan it so that you can study at a university in a country of your choice and then continue to work in the summer there, or you can go to a different country altogether. So that's kind of the overview, but I think one of the best ways to tell you about MIB is to have you hear directly from one of our MIB students. So it's my pleasure to introduce Alexandra Papin, a current MIB student, to talk about her experience.
Hi, everybody. I'm super excited to be here today to tell you a little bit about my experience in the Management and International Business program here at UTSC. So first and foremost, I guess I'll start right at the beginning. When I was in grade 12 and trying to figure out, what I wanted to do as my future study and career path, just like you are right now, I was thinking about it and I realized that I wanted to combine my interest in business and math with my passion for learning new languages. This was something that was really important to me. So as I did my research, I stumbled across the Management and International Business program here. And what really stood out to me was not only the fact that you're able to get a work experience with this program, but you're also able to get that international experience with a study and a work term abroad. Now, fast tracking to my first year of university, what I found that really stood out to me was the fact that you got so much individualized support from the UTSC community. And this really helped when it came to job seeking and exploring different career paths. And I was able to use that support to get my first co-op work term at Manulife Financial as a business analyst intern. There, I was able to, try a couple different things out, see what it was that I liked, what I didn't like so much, and then leverage that experience further to get a position as a business analyst at RBC under technology and operations. Here, I had the opportunity to explore the fields of technology and business, and it was something that never occurred to me as something that I would actually really enjoy. I never considered myself to be a tech person before that. So I decided to, look into this even further and really focus on applying to business and technology positions during my study term abroad at LMU Munich. And I ended up applying to Microsoft Germany and was able to secure a position with them, and actually only recently finished up my work term there. So that was really amazing. But yeah, that being said, I mentioned my study term abroad as well at LMU Munich. Here I had the opportunity to work as a teaching assistant. I was able to receive a scholarship by the university, from the university, I've also had past experience working as a teaching assistant at U of T and have worked a couple different work study positions during my time during the last 4 years. But yeah, that being said, in my free time, I'm involved with a couple different clubs at UTSC. Right now, I'm the president of the Management and International Business Association, and I am a data analytics partner on the management consulting group. Both of these experiences have been so important to me because I've had the opportunity to, do business work outside of school and get to know so many people on campus and the tight-knit community that exists within management. But yeah, that being said, as I guess I wrap up and we move on with the presentation, if you can sort of take one thing away with you from the Management and International Business program, I would definitely say that it is what differentiates this program from others is the international experience that you receive. Right now, as I'm in my 4th year of university, I am applying to several full-time jobs, mainly aimed, of course, within business and technology because I've had the experience in that field and I want to continue to pursue it. I feel that the international experience I have received is what differentiates me in comparison to other applicants. So now I have ongoing interviews with several large tech companies, and I was able to get those because I have that differentiating factor. I'm not only somebody who has had work experience domestically, but internationally as well. And I think you can also see this in my mindset as I approach different tasks and jobs that I do. So thank you guys so much for listening to me. Back to you, Christine.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Alex. It's always great to hear your experience. I understand there's a lot of questions in the chat, understandably so, asking about the difference between Rotman and our program here, UTSC Management. I can tell you, and I know you probably have heard this before, that they're all great programs at U of T. We all have to meet the same caliber and standards in order to be a program at the University of Toronto. We meet every term, the 3 business programs, to talk about best practices and how we can lift up our students within U of T. So the only real difference is what you feel you connect with. So we obviously have co-op programming here. We have a few different programs. If one of those programs are of interest to you, this is the place for it. We have a wonderful community. As Alex mentioned, there's a lot of support for our students. You really can't go wrong applying to any U of T business program. It's really where you see the fit. So I'm going to continue now, unless April, did you want to add to that?
I was just going to say, I completely agree with Christine. I think the real differentiator is the co-op is one, very clear differentiator. But the other one is that you do take courses in all functional areas in our course before you really get on to the rest. So it gives you a little bit of a sense of what each one of those things does.
Awesome. So a little bit more about the co-op program. We talked about the logistics and how they run, but we really do focus on the education part of cooperative education. And this is because we want to make sure that you learn the skills that you need in order to secure any job that interests you. And that means that right from first year, you're in a co-op orientation where you're meeting other management students. You're in a work term prep course where you're learning everything about interviewing, resumes, cover letters. We also invite employers in first year. We want them in front of you. They give you mock interviews. They get to know you. They want to see you very early on so that they can start thinking about you for your work term in second year. So we spend quite a bit of time in first year just kind of getting you up to speed on what it takes to do a good job search. And then after first year, we want to really move to one-on-one. We want to know your individual goals. We want to get a sense, are you somebody who wants to go to another country? Do you want to do tech? Do you want to do finance, accounting, small firm, big firm? We work with you to achieve those goals. So we create a personal plan with you to do that. We also have an immense employer network. And I'm going to give you just a sample of the over 300 employers who hire from us annually. And we also have a guarantee with our students. If there's an employer you'd like to work with that we aren't posting a job with, let us know. We'll go speak to them on your behalf and make sure that they know about the great skills that you can bring forward. So that is our employers and some of the supports that we offer. I'd like to introduce one more student, Shashwat Nagori, and he's going to talk to you about his experience. He is currently in our double degree program. So Shashwat, please go ahead.
Hey guys, my name is Shashwat. I'm a third-year student in the double degree program. I'm also an international student. And yeah, I would say that the double degree program, yes, incorporates both statistics and management courses. And that's what made it really stand out to me, because when I was in high school, I was really interested in going into a business program. But since I was also very interested in mathematics, I wanted to take a course that would help me learn both math and business. And that's what the double degree program offers me, because I just really enjoy the fact that one day I can be with my friends from the management department working together on some macroeconomics assignment, and the next day I'm going to be with some CS kids working on some project on Python. And I just really like that these two very different worlds of business and math are just connected so well through this program. And this program gives you an opportunity to really find out how the two fields connect, and where you can and how you can really make use of the skills from this program. So I'm currently on my first work term at Celestica. I'm a data analyst, so my role is mostly just building dashboards and creating reports. And I feel like my experience with double degree is helping me a lot in my role right now, as I've been able to incorporate I've been able to automate certain tasks through Python, for example, that I wouldn't have been able to do had I not taken a Python course as part of the double degree program. So I feel like the breadth of the huge breadth of the coursework in the double degree program really prepares you for many different sorts of work experiences. So whatever your work term may be, you'll always find that you'll have lots of things that you can use from school and really work on it quite a bit. And I've also involved myself quite a bit on campus. I was part of Investment Society last year, and it was I wanted to join Investment Society because I wanted to explore my interest in finance, being from the double degree program. And Investment Society gave me a great opportunity to prepare a case assignment that was used as part of our University of Toronto Finance Conference. So again, like a great learning opportunity where I got to make a lot of friends and learn and develop my skills both in Excel and a lot of these financial softwares. So yeah, I would say that if you're someone who's considering the double degree program, really try to involve yourself on campus, because there's so many events happening all the time. So since you're someone who's involved in both the management department and the math department, you have so many different people who you can connect with and so many different things that you can learn.
Wonderful. Thanks, Shashwat. All right, so we're on the home stretch here and almost at the point where we'll be happy to take some questions. What I wanted to just wrap up for you is the co-op advantage overall. And first of all, I don't know if you've noticed all these great looking students in the presentation. They're all our actual students. We love featuring you as our primary strength. So just as a recap, the strength of the co-op program, and maybe this helps answer some of the differentiation pieces, is the U of T caliber education, the fact that we're ranked #1 for employer preparedness. So you know that your investment here is going to land you where you need to be. The network that we provide with employers and alumni. Our alumni line up to be able to connect with you. They want to help you along the way. They want to mentor. They're at so many events. I met with an alumnus today who's a CFO at Scotiabank, who just wants to see how can he help students understand the changes in the market right now and what the bank is doing to respond to the pandemic. So we're setting that up. This is a regular occurrence. They want to figure out how they can connect with you and help. We have high quality jobs. We have a high standard for the types of jobs that we post. As I mentioned, they're aligned with your degree. They're in a professional environment, although some are now remote. So the professional environment might be your bedroom, but at the same time, you're connected to a professional employer. The location, being right here in the Toronto area, when things lighten up a little bit, it's an easy commute. You don't have to relocate, whether you're studying or working. Direct entry, as I mentioned, this means we admit students right into management. There's no applying after second year. And The greatest strength of our program is the ability for you to explore your options and interests. I can't emphasize that enough. I can't imagine that you absolutely know for sure the discipline that you want to go in, as well as which level of industry. And if you do, that's awesome. Let's verify it for you early on and make sure that you're on the right path so you know where you want to be at the end of the 4 years. So that is our co-op program and our BBA program. I'm going to turn it back over to Shelby, and we'll be happy to answer some questions and discuss next steps.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Christine. And thanks to Shashwat and Alex for sharing their experience. I always love hearing from our students. So let's talk a bit about your next steps and what you need to do. If we can just go to that next slide, there's a great list of things that you can think about and consider. That doesn't seem to, there we go, there it is. If you would like to submit an application to a management program at U of T Scarborough, make sure that you're doing that by the deadline. You're going to apply either through the Ontario University's Application Centre or directly through the U of T application if you are an international student. You'll want to ensure that you do that by January 15th. And then you need to make sure that you've completed your supplementary application by February 1st. You can't be considered for management programs if you have not completed your supplementary application. Once you have submitted your application to the university, we're going to get in touch with you. We're going to thank you for your application and give you lots more information. You'll also be given instructions about how to access the Join U of T portal. That is your spot to find out what you need to complete your application. Lots of information there about documents or additional information that we might need from you. It's also the first place you're going to see when there is a decision on your application. So make sure that you are accessing the Join U of T portal. There's a great resource that we have for more information. If you want to find out more about the Scarborough campus, about programs, if you want to take a virtual tour, on the U of T Scarborough website, you can access the section called Explore UTSC. And I'll ask Erin if she can just please put that in the chat, that link. That's where you'll find out about webinars, live, on-demand sessions, lots of things that are happening. If you want to refer to this session again, you're welcome to do that. We are recording the session, and give us a little bit of time, but we will put that up on the Fall Campus Week website under On Demand, and you can watch the presentation again or share it with your family if you would like to. I know what always happens. You log off of these webinars and you think of all kinds of questions you wish you would have asked in the chat. Don't worry about it. We are here to help you. We want to help make what we know can be a somewhat stressful and complicated admissions journey as easy as possible. You are going to get that personalized, customized service as a student right from the time that you are interested in applying to us. So if you have questions, send us an email. We're happy to help. You can reach us at the email address that's on the screen, and we'll answer any questions that you have there. All of you have been asking great questions in the chat, and I know that Erin and Manjot and Kendall have done a great job of answering them, but we have a few that I thought might be good to sort of address with our panel. And I'm going to toss the first question maybe to Alex, and then Shashwat, you can also respond. But our visitors would like to know what made you choose U of T Scarborough over other schools. We know you're really good students and you would have had lots of options. So why U of T Scarborough for you?
So that's a great question. So I would definitely say that the differentiating factor for me, like I mentioned also during my presentation, was the international experience that my program offered me. But that being said, U of T Scarborough in general, I think what really differentiates our campus from, let's say, for example, other U of T campuses, is the fact that the classes are actually a lot smaller than other universities. And what is so special about that is the fact that you get a lot more one-on-one interaction. So let's say, for example, with your professor or your teaching assistant or whoever, whichever instructor might be leading the class, because and because of that, you're able to learn, ask questions in class, learn the material a lot better, because you do get to have kind of that personal connection with the professor, and they know you by name, and you're able to, just learn in a much more efficient way. So I would say that, yeah, definitely campus size, class sizes were important to me, as well as just the program that I was in, made me so passionate about it. So yeah, that's kind of how I would sum up that question, I guess.
Well, we're glad you made that choice, Alex. Shashwat, what about you? Why U of T Scarborough for you?
Well, I agree with what Alexander just said. I think that those are all very good points. And yes, those were some of the reasons why I picked U of T too. But apart from that, I would say that, as I've mentioned earlier, I really wanted a mathematical focus along with my business education. So I wanted to compare, like when I was deciding what program to go with, I was comparing this double degree program with a few of the other ones out there as well. And so the reason I picked U of T was because you get a far greater mathematical, greater foundation in mathematics with the double degree program, because there's a lot of core program requirements that you have to fulfill compared to other double degree programs. So because of that, you're gonna have the chance to take a lot of very high level math courses that you may not with other double degree programs. And even apart from the math, like even in the management courses, I would say that there was just so many different and really professionally focused finance courses as well that were offered for third and fourth years, which really stood out to me, because courses like private equity, for example, where you get to really where you really get to explore these interests and decide whether you want to pursue those as career options later. So that was what I found really interesting.
That's great. It sounds like the double degree was really the perfect fit for you. That's great. Thanks so much, Shashwat, for sharing that. We've got lots of questions coming in about the supplementary application form. And so let's talk a little bit more about that supplementary application form. Once you have applied to U of T Scarborough to a management program, we're going to get in touch with you with that information about the Join U of T portal. Once you have access to that portal, you'll be able to access the supplementary application. The supplementary application form is really your way to tell us more about yourself beyond your academics. You know that as a business student at U of T, we're going to expect that you are a really strong student, but we want you to also have lots of other experiences. We want you to be well-rounded. And so the supplementary application form is our way to assess that. You will access the supplementary application form and ensure that you have completed it by February 1st. It's all done online, and it's all done in written answers. So all of the answers to the questions are short answer questions. We're not going to ask you to write huge, massive essays or anything like that, but we are going to ask you to share some information about things that you have been involved in outside of school, extracurriculars, work experience, volunteer, and we really want you to reflect on a couple of things. We want you to reflect on your interest in the program, what is drawing you to apply to U of T Scarborough in a management program, and we want you to reflect a bit on leadership and what that means to you and how you have exhibited some of those skills. So really, there's no right answer for the supplementary application. We just really want to get to know you better. And Christine, I know that you have read and assessed hundreds of supplementary applications in your time at U of T Scarborough. Any additional tips that you want to provide students with?
No, I think you covered it. I guess just really look at it as an opportunity to share with us what else is going on that, shapes who you are. And so, yes, we want to see the leadership. We want to see good grammar and spelling throughout it, which seems basic, but is important. But it's not a complicated form. Just give it a bit of attention and make sure that you fill it out to the best of your ability. It's an additional piece for us to consider for you, and hopefully it helps add to your application.
All right, I was just looking at some more of those great questions in the chat. And there's lots of questions coming up as well about admissions and the courses that we're going to be looking at. We do get all of your grade 11 and 12 courses. And students, I know particularly those of you that are in Ontario and might be in a very new and unique quadmester model are a little stressed about how this is all going to work. But I want to reassure you that you will not be disadvantaged by the format or structure of your school year or anything that may have impacted you due to COVID-19. We know what's been happening. We know that things have been challenging, and we want to see all the grades and marks that you have available to you so that we can offer you admission. We want you to be a student here, so we will do everything we can to look at everything that your academic record entails. So we will see your grade 11 grades, we will see your grade 12 grades as they come in, and we are making offers of admission really released on a monthly basis, anywhere from December typically through to May. And as we get more information and more grades from your school, we'll be looking at your application to see if you are admissible, to make that offer of admission. Now, if you have prerequisite courses, things like English or calculus, in later quads, if this is stressing you out, don't worry. We can use your grade 11 grades in English and in math to give us a really strong indication of how you're doing as a student. So we will see those grades and we'll keep assessing you as we get new grades to see if you are eligible for the program. But my number one tip is don't stress about that part of things. We are here to help you. If you have additional questions about how admissions will work this year, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us at our email address. We are more than happy to help you with that. There's also been some questions about what type of applications you can submit and whether you can apply both to Rotman at St. George and to a management program at U of T Scarborough. And the answer is yes. You can apply to up to 3 programs at the University of Toronto. And in fact, if you are super passionate about business and you want to apply to business programs across all 3 campuses, you can absolutely do that. So you are welcome to make those individual applications. However, you can only apply to 1 program at U of T Scarborough. So do keep that in mind and select wisely based on what you're most interested in. Again, as I mentioned at the beginning, if we are unable to give you an offer to the management program that you have applied to at U of T Scarborough, but if there is another management program that you are eligible for, we would look to admit you. And if unfortunately you aren't admissible to our management programs, we might be able to give you what's called an alternate offer of admission. And this would be an offer of admission to another area at U of T Scarborough. You may have the opportunity then in your first year to take the required management courses and transfer to year 2. One of the other questions that came up in the chat was applying or reapplying to co-op if you're not in co-op in your first year. And you absolutely do have the chance to request admission into co-op for year 2 if you're not in co-op. You can access the department directly, and I know my colleagues have posted some information in the chat about getting into co-op if you're not admitted in your first year. Some other great questions here. Some students are asking about flexibility to take other courses in other areas, majors, minors, that sort of thing, and what type of flexibility they might have. So Christine, I don't know if you want to pop in and talk about that, or maybe Shashwat or Alex want to talk about some other courses they've taken.
If you guys want, I can comment on that quickly.
Yeah.
So, fun fact about me, I got a lot of my business requirements out of the way in my first 3 years of university. So I took basically all business courses the first 3 years. And now that I'm in my final year, I have a bunch of electives to take, you know, kind of whatever I'm interested in. And as you might remember from earlier in my first part of the presentation, I mentioned that I'm extremely passionate about learning new languages. And so right now I'm currently taking 3 languages simultaneously, and I'm going to be taking 4 next semester. So that's what I'm using my electives on. I really wanted the well-balanced and well-rounded experience with my program, and I was lucky enough to choose it so that I can, I have the opportunity to learn a lot about business and different business areas and explore different areas of business. But at the same time, I get to, pursue something I'm also really passionate about simultaneously. So yeah, that's a little bit about my experience. I don't know if you guys also.
That's amazing, Alexandra. Okay, I have to ask, what languages?
Okay, so get ready. I speak 8 languages in total. Yeah, so right now I'm currently fluent in Serbian, English, French, German, Spanish. But right now I'm also currently learning Greek, Russian, and Yiddish.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm super passionate about learning new languages, and I'm happy that this field of international business has the opportunity to incorporate it so well.
That is incredible, Alexandra. Any of our guests watching, if you're also into languages, in the chat, let us know what languages you're interested in, and maybe you can get together with Alex at some point and you can have like language cafes. Shashwat, what about you? What else are you interested in, or what flexibility have you had to take some other courses? You're in a double degree, so I know you have a lot of courses that you need to take.
Yeah, so there are a lot of core program requirements, but I also have space for electives. And I haven't used, I've used up almost all my electives. I think I just have 1 elective left. And I haven't used my electives to learn 8 languages, but I have had a lot of fun with them. Last semester, I took a course called Ancient Egyptian and Mesopotamian Myths and Stories. So that was like a really cool course because every lecture was essentially just learning about these really interesting stories from Egypt and Mesopotamia all the way from like 3000 BC. And it was so interesting seeing the parallels between how the stories were set up back then and how similar they were to some of the very big popular stories that we see around us today. So, I've used the breadth requirements as a way to take courses that I wouldn't normally have taken and just read and learn about things that I wouldn't have had just not known about these courses.
That's amazing. It sounds like that was really interesting and a really great thing to add to your program. Thank you so much, Shashwat. Thank you, Alexandra. We are at time for this session, and I just want to thank Christine for sharing great information about the programs, and Professor Franco for joining us to talk about her department. Again, everyone, we are more than happy to help you and guide you through the admissions process. Please do get in touch with us. Connect with us whenever you need, and we will definitely support you. Also, check out more of the Fall Campus Week presentations and sessions. You'll want to join us. We have more sessions coming up tomorrow and Saturday about other programs and all the things you need to know about applying to the university. Again, this session has been recorded, and we'll be posting it on the Fall Campus Week site very soon. Have a great rest of your day, everyone, and thank you so much for joining you. We hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.